Hello, Ben here, welcome back to the channel. And in this video I'm going to be looking at the Baofeng UV-K61. So if you're a regular viewer of my channel, then I apologise for the absence. I've had a couple of months away from YouTube, been busy with work and family commitments, but I'm back making videos again, hopefully from now. And in one of the previous videos you may have seen, I reviewed and had a look at the Baofeng UV-K6, which was not to be confused with the Quansheng UV-K58 or K6, because obviously they're very similar models. But Baofeng have also brought out the UV-K61, which we're going to look at today. And again, you can see they're very similar to each other to look at, and even more similar, I think, this time to the Quansheng UV-K5. So you can see the style is almost exactly the same, with that kind of silver metallic style front plate to them, and just the general look of the radio itself. But again, they're a totally different radio. When I say totally different, they're not completely different. There's quite a few similarities, but we're going to go through in this video and look at what's the same and what's not. So as you'd expect then with any of this type of radio, they're a tri-band VHF UHF covering 2 meters, 70 sems, and if you're in a country that's lucky enough to have it, the 1.25 meters or 220 megahertz band. I say we don't have that here in the UK, but I know some of my viewers will have the benefit of 1.25 meters. So it's got 999 memory channels, so that's a little bit of an advantage over the Quanshengs, which as standard only have 200 channels. But in reality, do you really need 999? I know I've never filled that many of the channels up in the past, but it's there if you need it. And first of all, if any of you wonder what's happened to my thumb, I wouldn't ever recommend shutting your thumb in a car door. Did that a few weeks ago, so apologies for the state of my thumb there. But let's get the radio switched on and have a look at the features. So
frequency mode.
Turn it on, comes on in frequency mode as you heard, and you've got your orange button here, which on the Quanshengs is I think the menu button, but on this one is switching between frequency and channel mode. So if I press that now,
channel mode,
you'll hear it says it's gone into channel mode, and the screen's not staying on for particularly long. You can see the blue backlight's gone off already, but we'll change that in the settings shortly, because I like to have the screen illuminated, especially when we're making the videos. On the side, you push to talk, and then your 2 orange buttons there, the function buttons. Battery, belt clip, all the usual things. I say these are pretty standard, these radios. Volume and the on-off switch, your flashlight, and obviously your antenna on the top there, as you'd always expect. And then the standard Kenwood style plug on the side there, so we can plug any speaker mics and accessories in, that kind of thing, and potentially programming cables in the future, maybe, who knows. Next button under your VFO and channel button is your A and B, so you can switch between top and bottom VFOs or channels, whichever one you're on. This little button here, if you press and hold that does your frequency seek. Again, this behaves a little bit differently to the Quanshengs. So the Quanshengs, if you do a frequency scan, I think you press, is it function F5 on the Quansheng, something like that, and it'll do the frequency search there. Any frequency it will find nearby, as long as it's FM and within a few meters there, it'll sniff out any frequencies. This one I realise you have to change between UHF, so if you're looking for a UHF frequency, have it in UHF, and then if you press the little button at the bottom here, it looks like a little Z with an arrow on it. I don't know if you can see how well, you better see this on the screen, but if I press that button there, we can change it to seek out a UHF frequency. So let's put that to the test first. I'm going to bring in the similar model. So this one's the Baofeng UV-K6. This is the K61. This is the K6. So let's pop that one on to start with. And I've got on the 2 meter frequency of 145475. So I'm going to transmit just a little bit away from it for a few seconds, and there you go. You can see on the screen there that it's found the frequency of that particular radio. If I exit that, and then we'll go back into it again, and it's gone straight back to UHF. So just to prove that, I'm going to transmit again on 145475, and it hasn't found it for some reason, but it has found another frequency. Maybe they're a little bit dirty, these radios, and it's a harmonic it's found there at 436, so that wasn't what we were looking for. So maybe that's why they've gone for this. But let's exit that again and then go back into it, and then this time I'm going to swap over to UHF. I know, sorry, we're in UHF, aren't we? We're going to go on a UHF frequency this time, so I'm going to go on 43375. Mike 7 Foxtrot Romeo Sierra, test only. There you go. So you can see that has this time found a frequency in the 77s band. So you need to know where you're looking, whether you're looking at UHF or VHF. But yeah, it does a reasonable job of sniffing those out. The previous one on 2 meters was completely accurate. It's a few kilohertz out, but it's pretty much found the frequency we were looking for. So yeah, handy little feature on the Baofeng K6 range. So let's exit that then and look at the menu next, and then we're going to have a look at programming some stuff in, because this is exactly as it was out of the box. So let's press the menu button. So to get into the menu on the Baofeng, it's the button there. You see we can change the channel name. Now I think, are we in, yeah, we are in channel mode. So you can see the little AB buttons come there, so you can add your channel name there somehow. I think we can, there you go, yeah, pressing your A, B, C, that sort of thing. So you can name the channel by using the numeric keypad there. So let's exit that. So that's just called that first channel, ABC. I don't even know what that one was, but we'll exit that. It doesn't matter because we're going to program some stuff in a minute. Yes, I've just called channel 1 ABC, so we'll reprogram that and call it something different shortly. Anyway, let's carry on with the menu. So menu, let's say you've got your channel name on menu 0. Channel 1 is your receive frequency. So let's press menu, and then we'll change that to 145.
0, 0.
So I'm going to make that a simplex frequency. So
Confirm.
press menu to confirm. So that's menu 1. Menu 2 is our transmit frequency, and I want that to be the same. So let's go in there.
145. 0, 0.
Press menu.
Confirm.
Confirms it. And now let's go into menu 2. CTCSS. I don't want any CTCSS on this one, so can I switch that off? Yep, there we go. So I can scroll through all the different CTCSSs. I'm going to switch CTCSS off for receive. DCS is off. Transmit, so transmit CTCSS, I might as well have that turned off as well. So we'll turn that off. Menu confirms these. Obviously there is a far simpler way of programming these. That'd be with the programming software or with Chirp, but just while we're going through the menus, I thought we might as well program up 1 or 2 channels. Transmit DCS is off.
DCS. Confirm.
Yep, so that one's off. Bandwidth, it's currently on wide, so I'm going to change that to a narrow bandwidth.
Channel bandwidth.
Menu confirms it.
Confirm.
And you're just using the up and down arrows to change the settings there, if you couldn't see that on the screen. Keep going.
Confirm.
And then transmit power is currently on low, so we can change that to high.
Confirm.
Silence mode, CTDCS, we don't need to worry about that. We don't want the forbidden TX on, so that's fine, that's off. The shift is off because I'm not programming a repeater, so I'm making this just a simple simplex frequency, so that we don't need a repeater shift. Likewise, we're not going to need the offset, which we're on menu 12 now. That's going to be memory channel 1, which is the first one. That's memory channel, that's menu 13. Menu 14 is where we can delete the channel if we want to. 15 is our VFO frequency range, so that's currently 400 to 470 on the range, so I think we can probably change that if we want to. No, yeah, I'm not sure if we can change that. I'll have to have a look at the instructions, but we're just going through the menus at the moment, so let's exit that one. Scan CTCSS, so I'm guessing you can get it to scan to look for CTCSS. You can get it to scan for DCS. Save. I'd have to have a look to see what scan mode is. Let's have a look at the instructions. There's different scan modes, so let's have a quick look through the instruction manual here. So scan mode, then CO is the one that comes up with. That's the first one, so that's carrier operation. So as soon as the carrier drops, the radio will continue scanning again. You can change it to search operation, so as soon as it finds a frequency or carrier that's operational, the radio will stop on that and it won't then continue as a search until you tell it to do something, basically, which is handy if you're trying to sniff out frequencies. And I think the last one there should be TO, which is time operation. So after a couple of seconds of the carrier dropping, the scan mode, the radio will continue to scan. So that's probably the one I tend to leave it on. So let's just set that one to TO.
Confirm.
Menu. There we go. So anyway, that's menu 19 is your scan mode. Menu 20 is the DTM FST. So if you want like your DTMF side tones, you can set them in there. I never bother with the side tones for anything. Doesn't really interest me using those. 21 is where you got your push to talk ID, so you can set your push to talk ID in the next few menus. So if I press menu again, there you go. You got your that was actually the push to talk delay. So that's what the delay is in milliseconds. So it's currently on a 800 millisecond delay from when you release the PTT key. Next menu should be the squelch, so it's currently on squelch level 3, and you obviously don't want the squelch up too high because that'll affect the sensitivity of the radio. So I'm going to press menu, and then we'll open it all the way up. We should get the hiss.
Confirm. Squelch. Confirm.
There you go. So squelch level 1 is working for me, so I'll leave it on that. Menu 24 is your receive save power save, so that selects the sleep cycle of the radio, so either 1.1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, and it says in the instructions the higher the number, the longer the battery is going to last you. So if we change that to
Save mode.
in fact the instructions don't match what the radio says, because the instruction manual says it'll go off 1 to 1, 2 to 1, but it's got that the wrong way around. It's actually 1 to 2 and 1 to 4. There's no 3 to 1 or 1 to 3, which is what the instruction manual is saying. So there's obviously a little bit of a discrepancy there, but we'll leave it on that. We'll confirm that one. Menu 25, you can switch on or off Vox, and then in menu 26 you can select that Vox level, so what level the Vox activates at, but we're not going to have the Vox on. 27 is your Vox delay, so you can decide how long you want it to stay transmitting after it's not receiving any voice. So that'll range between 1 and 2 seconds, I believe. Menu 28 is your time over timer, or timeout timer if you like. It's currently on 120 seconds, which I find is probably never enough for me. So let's see if we can turn that off completely. Yep, we can. You can switch that off. So I'm going to turn off the timeout timer. And then 28 is the language. Obviously, currently got it in English. I believe you can change it to Chinese if you wish.
Confirm. 语言选择.
There we go.
确定.
Let's go back one. So
确定. 语言选择. 确定.
And we'll better swap that back to English, because I'm not my Chinese isn't that great. And then let's go up to menu 30, which is the voice prompt. So you could hear it doing us the voice prompt. So if you want, we can switch that on or off. I'm going to switch that off now.
Confirm.
So you can see it's not saying confirm anymore because that's now gone. Menu hang time, that's pretty handy because it's currently on 10 seconds. And let's just let that clear. I know the backlight's already gone off, but there you go, it's gone back to our channels or VFO mode, whatever you want. So I'm going to change the menu hang time. Let's increase that to 30, 35. How long should we have it for? Well, we can range it between 5 seconds and 60 seconds. So let's have the menu hang for 60 seconds there, which makes life a little bit easier. Next menu is your beep prompt, so we can switch that beep on or off. It's obviously currently on because you can hear the beep, but let's switch that off. Menu 33 is where the Roger bleep is, so let's have a go at seeing what Roger bleeps we've got. There we go, those are different tones. Off, beep, and tone 1200, whatever that is. So let's leave it on beep to start with, and then let's exit that and let's have a listen to see what that sounds like. I'm going to actually put this on a frequency that we're going to use, so let's just go into VFO mode. We're on 145475, and then
mode 145475.
we'll have a listen to see what that sounds like. M7 FRS test. There you go. So that was what the beep sounded like, and I don't like using it on ham radio, but that's only for experimental purposes. We'll give it a quick go. Let's go to the menu and let's try the other one. No, menu, tone 1200. There we go. Confirm that one, and then we'll try it again. Let's listen on the other one. M7 FRS test only. There you go. So it's almost like that kind of digital noise, if you like. That's what that sounds like. Let's carry on through the menus. So we got up to menu 33, didn't we? Menu 34 does what is where you tell it what you want to do on power on. So power on type. So at the moment it's coming up logo. So you can have logo. You can probably set your own message, or you can have the voltage. Yeah, that's the three things that will change. So let's leave it on logo, and if I exit that, when we switch the radio off and then back on again, I'm guessing we should get a logo. There you go. Yeah, so you get the Baofeng logo come up. If we change that, what menu was that? Was that 35 or something like that we were up to? 34, wasn't it? So we can change it to message or the voltage. So let's put it on voltage, menu, exit, switch it off, switch it back on again. There you go. It told us the battery voltage though was about 8.1 volts, wasn't it? If I read that right, it did flash up fairly quick. I think we can quickly jump to the menu. So if you press the menu button and you press 35, there you go. We can get back up to where we were. Power on tone, you can set whether you want a power on tone or not. So it was off. Voice, tone, or none. I thought it was on voice, but it would say welcome. But let's just try that. So let's select that. We'll turn it off and back on again. Yeah, it didn't say welcome, did it? I thought I'd expect with it to say voice, it would have said welcome, but let's go to 35 again. Maybe this is a slight glitch in the menu there, maybe. Let's try changing that to tone. Select, and then we'll switch it off and on again and see if we get a voice this time. No, we didn't. Maybe it's because I switched off the voice prompts, perhaps. Maybe it's linked into that, but I would have expected it to do something. But strange. Where were we? 35 power tone or power on tone. So yeah, that doesn't seem to do anything at the moment. Like I say, maybe it's because I've switched off the voice. So let's go menu 36 is our power on message. So you know I said on menu 34 you could change to your logo, your voltage or your message. On 36 is where you actually set that message. So we could go into that, we could press menu, and then I could probably add in my call sign if I wanted to. So let's try putting in M. How do I do uppercase? I wonder if I can put uppercase in. No, we can delete it with the exit key. There we go. So pressing the bottom button changes it to lower and uppercase. So bottom right button. So we can put my call sign in M, and then 7 F. Oh, I've gone past it. R, and then number 7 button again for the S. There we go. So hopefully that is that's given us our power on message. And if I now go back to menu 34, and we'll change that to the message. And there we go. And then we'll exit that. We'll switch the power radio off and then back on again. Hopefully my call sign will come up when we switch the radio on now. There we go. So it did briefly flash up on there. We're on menu 37 next, so we can, like I say, we can quickly shoot across to that by dialing it in manually on the keypad. Power on PDW, whatever that means. So what, we'll have to look at the instructions to see what that is. That either enables or disables the power on password function. Okay, so PWD is password, so we can set a password for that if we wanted to. I'm not going to have a password, but that's where we could set that if we desired. Let's keep scrolling through the menus. Dual watch, or which you can have on double weight. So that's where it monitors A and B at the same time, with A and B VFOs or channels at the same time, or just one or the other. So if we press the menu button, you've got the options are double weight, single weight, or off. So double weight will monitor A and B at the same time, so it will display the most recent activity on A or B according to instructions. Single weight, it will monitor A and B simultaneously, but it will only monitor the main band A or B. The instructions don't really make a lot of sense to me. If anyone knows what that means, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I would just go between on or off. It's a little bit less confusing. So off, you know that you're only listening to whichever band you've asked it to, basically, either the top or the bottom one. So menus 39 and 40 are going to be the same ones for your top VFO, and then the next one is for your bottom VFO. So A and B, you can tell them how you want them to display, whether you want it to display the name of the channel, or the frequency, or the channel number. So that's the only options on this, is name, frequency, or channel number. I'm going to have it on name, and that's on B, isn't it? So let's go for menu 39. Let's change, that's the name as well, so that's fine. So if I name the channels, that's what will display. So menu 41 is the tail squelch eliminator. So if you're using a repeater, you can eliminate the tail squelch on that one, and you can change the amount of time that does it for. So 5, 6 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, or off, up. So anything between nothing and 10 seconds, basically. I think that was on 5 seconds, so we'll just leave it on there. Not that I really use the tail squelch eliminator, but that is there. Menu 42 is a similar function. That's the delay of a tail tone from the repeater. So menu 43 is where you can set the radio to send a tone burst. So you can select either 1750 Hz, 2100 Hz, 1000 Hz, 1450 Hz, or back to your 1750 Hz. Now apparently, according to instructions, it will transmit the tone burst if you press and hold the PTT and A key, it says in the instructions, but I don't know which key it means. whilst holding down the PTT. So apparently it will send out a 1750 Hz tone, but most repeaters don't sort of use that function anymore, as far as I'm aware. Menu 44 is where you change your frequency steps. So it's currently on 2.5 kilohertz. You can change it to 5, 6.25 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, 12.5, 20, 25, 50, back to 2.5 kilohertz steps again. Menu 45 is the busy lockout. So if another user is transmitting on that frequency and obviously the radio is receiving, it won't, well, you can press the push to talk, but it won't actually allow the radio to transmit. So I've got that switched off at the moment. Menu 46 is the side tones, and the instructions are saying that it eliminates the tail squelch noise between the Baofeng handhelds that are communicating directly. No repeater. So I think it's a bit like tail squelch elimination for the repeater, but just for Baofeng radios. Again, not something I've looked at or played with or really used at all. So yeah, that's what that one is. Menu 47 is the alarm mode. Again, not something I've messed around with or played with. And then menu 48 is where you can change your function keys. So PF1, I assume, is the top orange key on the side there. So you can select that to do various things. At the moment, it'll turn on or off FM radio. So we'll try that. So let's come out of the menu, exit. There you go. It's put on the FM radio. And we can come back and turn it off again. So let's go back into the menu again. And if we select that, we can change what that side button does. So you can have it doing nothing if you want to. You can set it so it turns the torch on and off on the top. We could change it so it selects the power, or the high and low power. You could have it to operate the scan function. You could use it for the Vox function, the alarm, and then back to radio on and off again. So let's change that one to torch on and off. If I press menu, that's now set that one. Menu 49 is what the long press of that button would do. So at the moment, if you long press it, it'll do the alarm. Let's change it for power select, shall we? And I'm guessing that menu 50 is probably going to be PF2. Yep, there you go. So that one actually does the torch. So let's change that one for something else. Scan, shall we have that as scan? Menu, and then I'm guessing, purely without looking at the instructions, I'm guessing the next one's going to be long press of PF2. No, it's not, is it? So there's no long press of PF2. I thought that was going to be what the next menu was. But so ABR is actually the illumination time of the display, and I said right at the start of the video I wanted to change that, didn't I? So it's currently on 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, the display will go out. So we're going to change that to a little bit longer. You either have it on anything 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, or permanently on. So it's handy for the video to have it permanently on. So I'm going to switch that to permanently on. Obviously it's going to reduce the battery life slightly, but that's fine. Let's go for the next menu. Menu 52 is the backlight brightness. So that's currently on 3. Let's put it on 5. Okay, so it's more of a contrast rather than the brightness. I don't know how well you can see that. 5's pretty poor. 1's not too bad. Yeah, 4 just takes the contrast of the whole LCD display down a bit. So I think actually probably 2 is quite good. Let's try 3. Yeah, that's quite good. So 2 or 3 is probably about where you want the contrast set, or it certainly does for these lighting conditions anyway. And strangely, it doesn't actually change the brightness of the backlight. It just brings up the contrast of the LCD display. So it's not as good as you might expect. Let's look at menu 53. Okay, so this is where you can change the LCD display to be reversed, if you like. So currently it's normal. If we go for reflex, I think it reverses it. There you go. So I know some people do like that. I'm not a fan personally, but I'm just going to have it on normal. There we go. Menu 54 is the auto lock, which is the time it takes for the keypad to lock. So at the moment it's off, so the keypad is, you have to physically lock and unlock the keypad using the lock button there, long press of that button there. But what we can do is you could set it so that the keypad automatically locks after a number of seconds if you wanted to. Menu 55 is radio in terror, whatever that means. I know what that does, but don't really know what the wording means on there. But basically, if you want to listen to FM broadcast and you're also monitoring a channel at the same time, when a carrier comes through on the channel, it'll cut off the radio, your broadcast radio, and then go back to your repeater or whatever you're listening to, basically. So you can switch that on and off in there. 56 is where you can completely reset the VFO if you want to. You've got a stopwatch on there on 57, and then 58 tells you what version of the firmware you're currently running. And incidentally, let's just have a quick look, because so I've got the similar version of this, which is the UV-K6. This is the K61 that we're looking at, but let's just look at the menu on K61. 58. Yeah, they are both running exactly the same firmware, these two, so they're both using version 0.22. And then that is back to the beginning again, so we're then back to the channel name. So you probably saw in that saying VFO A, yeah, that's right, I switched it, didn't I? So it was only monitoring one VFO at a time. So yeah, so it only shows the single VFO. And if I put it into channel mode, there we go. Channel 1 is still called ABC, because that was what we named it. So yeah, that's fairly simply going through the menu of the Baofeng UV-K61. So now if we look at the power output and we connect the radio to the Shawcom SW33, we'll have a look at the power output on high power on 2 meters, and you can see it's given us just under 7 watts on high power on the 2 meter band there. If we swap over to the 70 sems band, you'll see it's given us just over 5 watts, maybe 5.5 if you're lucky. We'll change over to low power, so it's menu number 8, press menu, low power, select that. So that's low power, and according to that we're getting about 4 watts on low power. And then if we swap back to 2 meters again, it must still be on high power on that one, so let's change that one again. Yeah, it is, because it's on the other VFO. Menu, change that to low power, menu, exit that. There we go. So you got about 2.5 watts on low power on 2 meters there. So finally, I've connected the K6 to the tiny SA spectrum analyzer, and it's going through a 40 dB 10 watt attenuator. So let's just measure the harmonics on this radio and just see how clean or dirty the signal is. So we're going to go to measure, and then we're going to look for the harmonic, and then we're going to be on 145.500 megahertz, and we need to set the level of attenuation. So external gain, we've got 40 dBs of gain. No, we haven't. We've got minus 40 dBs of gain, minus 40 dBs of gain. So now if we hit the PTT button on the radio, we can see there's 2 pretty big spikes there. So on the fundamental on 145.500, although the tiny SA is saying 145.300, it says 33.9 decibels of gain. And then on that first harmonic, where the number 2 spike is, which will be about 260 megahertz, I think. We'll have to have a little scroll across there. That's actually minus 15 dBs, so ideally that wants to be less than 40, but that's a huge harmonic there. So let's whiz across to just here with the first pointer, and there we go. Yeah, sorry, yeah, 290 megahertz. It's saying 18.1 decibels, so chucking out a load of power just where we don't want it to. So yeah, I would say, unless anyone knows otherwise, that's quite a dirty radio, unfortunately. But other than that, it's a shame because some nice features in there. But yeah, hopefully you found this video interesting. Let us know what you think in the comments down below, and stay tuned. Hit the like and subscribe. I'll put a link in the description down below to Banggood, where this radio came from. And we'll see you on the next one. 7-3.